And, you know, we're going to find out if Felipe can handle that pressure. John O'Brien scoring that 4-1 record, and Louis Felipe 6-3. John O'Brien, of course, flying out of Glory MMA.
Absolutely, and I think we talked about it a little bit at KCFA 29. John O'Brien's a guy you literally see in the gym every day. He's either working on himself, helping others. This guy is non-stop working on improving his MMA skill set. If you've ever been to Glory MMA and Fitness and Lee Summit, chances are this guy's in the gym at the same time, whether it's hitting the bag, whether it's training someone else, whether it's taking classes. This guy is constantly improving, and we see it every time he steps in the cage. We see improvements in his game. I'm excited to see those improvements here tonight. We saw.
Ladies and gentlemen, bout number 9 is brought to you by Hoy Excavating, building communities and providing construction services in the Kansas City Metro. Hoy Excavating. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, please welcome Luis Felipe. And his opponent standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, John O'Brien. Your referee is Nick Nolte.
Say John O'Brien, last time we saw a relentless pressure that eventually led to a submission victory. I think he's going to want to do the same here tonight, get in, close that distance, and really stay stuck to his opponent.
There we go. That leg kick.
Nice body kick by O'Brien, though, right to the liver. Those are big kicks. Returned by Felipe.
Both men are active. John O'Brien go for that takedown.
Yeah, this is where John O'Brien likes to be, is in this clinch position, but he gets reversed. Luis Felipe ends up on top.
Felipe trying to work to full mount. John O'Brien.
John O'Brien gets on top. Switches position. He's got to get his head up here, though. Felipe's looking for a triangle. His foot is stuck underneath right now, so it's hard to get the triangle from that position, but he's at least landing some strikes. Even if they're little ones, those can add up.
But John's comfortable here. You know, this is John's world, so Felipe have to do his best to try to get back up.
John O'Brien is staying stuck to his opponent here, but Felipe is just relentless with these light strikes from bottom. John O'Brien's looking to pass now, though. Drives him into the cage. Now he can kind of use his cage can work as an advantage or a disadvantage. Right now, John O'Brien's doing a good job of kind of pulling him off that exact distance he wants to where his head is stuck in the cage, but not able to use his body to walk up it. Felipe's looking for an omoplata here.
Felipe definitely has an active guard.
Definitely. Again, those long legs, like we saw in the last fight, make it easy to look for submissions.
Is that a Peruvian necktie?
That's what he's looking for. Can't quite get his hands clasped together yet, though. So he's going to try to switch to an omoplata or a triangle.
John gets back into his guard.
John O'Brien is aware of what's going on there and able to try to fight those hands inside. You can hear him listening to the corner of James Krause there, telling him exactly what to do, and he's doing his best to follow every instruction. John O'Brien wrapped in a guillotine here. He's got his hips up high, and he's got Felipe's head in the cage, which makes it hard to get that finish. Great defensive work here by John O'Brien. He's going to look to fight the hands here. He's doing a great job of keeping his hips up, keeping his head pinned to the mat, and he pops his head out.
30 seconds left. John O'Brien still working. Felipe's doing a great job having an active guard from the bottom. You know, kind of giving John, where John likes to be, making him frustrated. But now John's laying down punches.
John's adding some big strikes here to try to finish out this round strong. Give us the bell there. It's going to be a tough round to score because Felipe was definitely more active off of his back, looking for submissions. The whole time he was landing a lot of strikes. John O'Brien maintained the top position, though. And a lot of times in MMA, that is what weighs heaviest in the judge's eyes, is who's on top. And it's going to be interesting to see how that round is scored if we get to that point. Really great active guard by Luis Felipe, and great top positioning control, and really great job being aware of these submissions by John O'Brien. You can tell he's been in those positions before, dealing with his friend there, Grant Dawson. Really good friends with Grant Dawson. Trains with him on a daily basis. Grant, a guy who's at the top level of the sport like Grant Dawson is going to put you in those positions on a daily basis. So whenever you come to him in a fight, they're nothing new. Same thing with James Krause. I'm sure he's put John O'Brien in some of those positions before, and that's why John's dealing with him so easily right now.
Nice, I'm excited for the second round. I want to see what game plan John O'Brien comes out with. Nice touch of gloves. Open stance. Going for that body kick. Kick gloves again.
Loves that body kick. He's landed it a couple times right in the correct spot. Might just be the timing of when he's landing it right now. Getting that pressure up against the cage though. Locks up that leg. Now what he wants to do is circle off of the cage now. He's locking up that leg, and now he wants to pull and then drag him back down in a circular motion to sweep him down to the mat.
Those body kicks are working. I mean, I know John's grinding.
Nice hip toss again by Luis Felipe. Similar to what we saw at the beginning of the first round. Let's see if John O'Brien can reverse it again and get back on top. He's got the legs laced up here of Felipe. Makes it hard to keep your balance when your knees are pinched together like that. Let's see if he can use that to get a sweep. And he does, ends up on top. Great work by John O'Brien of being aware of where those legs were at, where he had his knees. Now he's lacing up the knees here from a top position. He has the balance and the control right now, and Luis Felipe is going to be in a compromised position here. His knees are tight together. It's really hard to move when you're on bottom, and John O'Brien's actually able to work now and not have to be as weary of the submission game.
Somebody is leaking. I don't know. I can't tell if that's from John's blood or if that's coming from Felipe's nose.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood on Felipe, but it's hard to tell if it's John or Felipe.
It looks like it's coming from Felipe.
I think so.
Let's see if that blood kind of do something to his mind. Because when you're bleeding, you think you're in trouble. And the mind's a powerful thing.
Yeah, especially when it's in your face like that, it can be curtains for you. Seeing red isn't always a good thing in MMA.
No, it's not.
John O'Brien doing a great job of lacing up those legs, keeping his opponent stuck in that position. We've seen a lot of this from his camp before. Just is amazing at really controlling the legs and not necessarily just focusing on walking up to mount. He's content to stay here right on these knees, and you see Felipe gets back to a half guard there, but he's content to set on that knee and keep his opponent stuck in place by controlling the legs as opposed to walking up to a traditional mount. Luis Felipe gets the sweep there, ends up on top, passes into a mount of his own now. John O'Brien's looking to use the cage to walk up. He's got to be wary of the triangle though.
He's going right into that triangle.
And this is where we saw them in the first round quite a bit.
You don't know they're not big punches, but John has to, those are not fun.
No. Felipe's looking for an armbar here. It's kind of an awkward position to lock it in, but he does have the arm locked. He's looking for a reverse triangle now. Short time though, John O'Brien pops out, and they will go to the round. Third round, right?
Good round by both men, and I'm looking at Felipe. Seems like he has a cut on the bridge of his nose. Let's see if that plays a factor into his breathing for the third round. But John, I think John definitely got that round. That second round was definitely belongs to John. So it's all about how you score the first round.
Yeah, I kind of think I have it 1-1 right now, just because of the active guard of Felipe in the first. John O'Brien, in my opinion, definitely took the second with the top control, did the damage. You can see the blood coming out of Luis Felipe's nose, and I think it all comes down to round 3. They'll get some adjustments here from their cornerman, and it's going to be interesting to see who comes out and takes this victory. Both these guys are very well conditioned. You can tell both very skilled athletes. They're ready to go in round 3.
Big third round for both these gentlemen.
They're brawling here in the third round. Both men looking to land big strikes. Back to that body kick by John O'Brien. He's landed it a couple times so far. Caught by Luis Felipe, though. Puts John O'Brien back to the mat.
John's definitely going to lock up that leg.
He's looking to lock up a leg here. Like you said, he can transition to an ankle lock. Most likely, though, he might try to use it to sweep. End up on top if nothing else.
I think Felipe's out of that position.
And there he does. He's going to use it to try to end up on top here. Felipe can get a leg lock of his own, though.
It's a dangerous spot.
Felipe's looking for the leg. John O'Brien's weary of what's going on here, though, and ready to fight it.
What do you do in this position, Matt?
So what John O'Brien wants to do is try to pull his leg back and then try to set into him here. You have two options. You can turn into them, or you can basically turn and run away and pressure out with your other foot as you try to escape out. And you see John O'Brien's able to turn in, circle into him. Now he's looking to lace up those legs again and get back to that top control he had in the first round. This is not a fun position. You see the leg of Felipe is across John O'Brien's waist, and that forces Felipe to do two things. One, he can either turn up to his knees, or he can stay stuck in that position. You see he chose to stay in that position, and now he's back flat to the mat. He got his leg back, but now his knees are tied together, and he's more or less stuck here.
John is definitely winning this round. Felipe has to look for some sort of way out. He can't stay in the round the whole time this way.
Absolutely. He's got to get desperate here. There's less than a minute left. He's going to have to get up and get the finish. But John O'Brien you can see the way he's locking down those legs is just, that's a sign of a very experienced fighter. That's a guy who's been in the gym a million times doing that, and he's focused on controlling those legs first, then doing the damage, and doing a great job of it so far, keeping his opponent stuck in that position, focusing on the control so he can land the strikes. Felipe looking for the guillotine again. Heads up against the cage. John O'Brien's hips are high. It's going to be hard to finish. He lets go.
For O'Brien to put in work here. He's comfortable here. 15 seconds left. Felipe has to go for a miracle shot. Has to shoot up some type of arm bar or something.
Here's a 10-second clap there. Felipe's looking for an arm bar. John O'Brien pops out, looking to land big strikes, make a statement in the judge's eyes. There's the bell. Very impressive, both of those guys.
Very good job. But, for Felipe to come out swinging and really technical off his back and very active, for John to get composed and, to go from Conor McGregor to Coolio, it's really fascinating.
Yeah, he did an amazing job of staying composed and focused there and implementing everything that he's trained, which is, really control the position, lace those legs up, make his opponent uncomfortable and stuck, and then land the strikes. And just a really impressive performance by John O'Brien. I think he takes rounds, takes two of the rounds there and will probably get the victory. Luis Felipe is a very talented fighter, though. We're definitely going to see more from him. We saw a very active guard. We saw some very creative, powerful strikes on the feet. Great things to come from both these men. I really think John O'Brien's going to get the victory here tonight, but I believe we'll see both these guys on a pro career in the future for sure.
Definitely. I got this for John O'Brien too.
Yeah, I think you could give the first round to Felipe just because he had a more active guard and he was looking for the finish constantly. But John O'Brien came out, made the adjustments he needed to, really focused on locking down the legs and then doing the damage that would turn the favor in his for the judges there. Steven St. John gathering up the scorecards now, so he can give us the official decision.
Are they doing some construction here tonight? Sorry, but I was like, hey, what's going on? All right, it's a weird time.
Here's Steven St. John to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for both fighters. We now go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Kevin Champion has the bout 29-28 for O'Brien. Judge Brett Miller scores the bout 29-28 for Felipe. And Judge Fernando Marquez scores the bout 29-28 for your winner by split decision. Out of the blue corner, Luis Felipe.